That's awesome. I would love to get into how did you figure out this how to predict wildfires with a 96% accuracy?
Boom.
Yeah. So I failed most of my math classes and I don't have a PhD. What I did learn over time, and this should be encouragement to anyone else who like failed calculus, mathematics and arithmetic are two extremely different things. And I've become obsessed with mathematics and obviously have to be on the technological side. And but yeah, it all started with we had been building machine learning models at Argo, doing reinsurance on mortgage derivatives on asset-backed securities. So we were basically backstopping Freddie and Fannie at the time, and we built a machine learning model that was able to predict default rates in major markets and give us a good clue on what the overall default rate for Freddie and Fannie would look like, and then write a reinsurance. Very simple policy too. Like if more than 50 basis points of the mortgages in the country defaulted, like we were going to lose $100 million, or if it didn't, we'd make 10 million. So, but kind of use that same premise, which is looking at wildfires, understanding like, okay, this is a rare event. There's 50,000 wildfires every single year on the West Coast. 3 of them become Camp Kincaid or Palisades. And I at the time been involved a bit with like Santa Fe Institute, looking at like chaos theory, and understood if you look at these events, they're compounding events. So you can have a smoker who lights a cigarette on a gasoline-filled brush, and it'll burn. And if there's nothing around it, it won't burn. And to get one of those Camp or Kincaid or big events, you have to have hundreds of millions of small little factors go wrong in a perfect alignment to have this cascading effect, which becomes like a large-scale catastrophe. And
Isn't it based off of some, like the origins of this thing, like from this like Russian scientist, like Markowitz or something? I just saw a freaking
buddy.
YouTube video. I just saw a YouTube video that was all about this, and it was like they thought that it was, oh, there's only certain predictors. You can't predict everything because of all of those millions of different variables, but actually you can't. Right?
Which is what you're saying. So what I became very good at is not predicting weather. You can't predict weather, no matter how we try. You can predict when there's a lot of factors that have lined up and something could go very wrong, and understand like those elements have compounded. So yeah, to your point, there's Markov simulations and actually the main one who really built this, it's called self-organizing criticality. There's a guy named Per Bach who worked at the Santa Fe Institute. Brilliant. Dead now, but he came up with this theory that all complex systems, so economies, biology, mortgage systems, wildfires, these systems, they layer redundancies, small little redundancies on top of each other. So you don't have a fire, break out every single day. You don't have your power fail every single day. You don't lose your cell signal every single day. The problem is when you start layering on thousands of redundancies on top of one another, you create these fault lines where if a million little things go wrong, the actual entire system will collapse in on itself, and it catastrophically, because you've thought
like mortgage
created a billion redundancies against it. And his point was actually most complex systems have to reset to that point. That's why we kind of see. And there's a ton of other stuff. I'll send you guys the book. Name of the book is How Nature Works. What was his main piece? But it is a phenomenal one. He goes into how they predicted time scale variance of tsunamis, earthquakes, all this stuff. It's cool.
That's crazy. So were you like, did your company predict the Palisades and all that stuff? Or were able to know that like, hey, something bad's going to happen? I mean, it's been happening, right?
I mean, haven't they said it that there's going to be a big fire or whatever in California forever?
So here's like there's going to be another huge one, probably this year or next. And there's
that's wonderful.
17 spots I could point out
San
on
Diego.
tomorrow and go. Now here's the wild part. In like the new company, one of the easiest strategies we've had of you want to know how to predict like where the next wildfire is going to happen, the next Palisade. Go spend 6 months, get on a plane, visit every single local fire chief, sit down and have beers with them, become friends, and go point out the hill that you think where are you not going to be able to send your guys? They'll blatantly tell you, and all the politicians, regulators, the people who live here, they'll all go like, oh yeah, like burnt. They're always named like Burnt House Road, which you go, okay, that should be the first indicator. But yeah, they'll say very plainly, like if nothing's done there, that becomes a suicide box. And the only thing we're going to be able to do is tell everyone to run and escape. And actually, like, not even just wildfire. If you guys get a chance, you should watch the new documentary on Katrina on Netflix. Like,
oh yeah, I watched that.
Incredible, right? And so like everyone forgets there was a hurricane in the 1950s that they literally same exact thing happened. Ninth Ward like flooded. Like everything the same. And so I think our problem as humans is, one, we have huge cognitive biases, and one of them is positivity bias and recency bias, where we go, oh, it's the most recent thing that'll happen. But, I'll give you guys a fun question. It's good proof of recency bias. What in the past 200 years, what do you think the single worst catastrophic event in California history has been? Caused the most damage, destruction, death?
San Francisco fire.
It's a good one.
The old, what was that, the 20s or something?
Yeah. Jason?
What about the one of those earthquakes? The
Whittier in the 90s.
That was Northridge, and I was a young
Northridge
during that. Remember it wasn't either of those. So
dude, I was at high school.
Was it the Palisades fire?
That's now the second.
That's recency.
Okay.
That's now the second biggest. And you'd go, okay, wildfires gonna be the next one. No, here's the crazy part. The single worst event in the past 200 years was the flood.
Newsom getting elected.
Yeah, nailed it.
Nailed it. Oh man, all
COVID.
Right. I'm stealing that joke for the next one.
What about COVID? I mean, COVID was kind of a problem.
But in terms of like destruction, death, it was actually the flood of 1862. Good
old 1862.
So, right, like, I'd never heard of it before, like, getting into stuff.
I've never heard of it.
I mean, 1862 is old news.
You'd think. So, this flood was so bad, it destroyed 1/3 of all taxable land in California, killed tens of thousands of people, and it was so intense that the mayor at the time, Leland Stanford, the guy they named the university after, he had to go to his inauguration in a rowboat. And like, look it up. You can see like pictures of him doing his inauguration speech in a rowboat because San Francisco was under 4 feet of water. But it goes to show you like, this is how most of the world works today and how most people think, which is like, what happened a week ago? And we forget, one, the Earth's been around for a few billion years. There's a very big sample set in terms of like events and frequency and severity. And yeah, like we think 1862 was a long time ago. That's probably a 1 in 100 year flood that we're wildly overdue for. And everyone's going to go, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. We're all surprised when we shouldn't be.